Hi, and welcome back to Pittman's Pumpkin Patch, Pittman's Garden Patch. It is July 27th, 2015. It's been a little while since I've did a video, so I figured I'd show you what's going on, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as every gardener faces. I'm here in my pepper bed, part of my garden, and this is the Acer variety of peppers. And this one there's a little bit of green on the bottom, so I'm trying to let it go completely ripe, and then you can see there's more in there and more ripening right here, and that one's almost completely done. I'd give it maybe the end of the day and it should be ready. I've been harvesting as I need off of my pepper plants. As you can see, there's a yellow bell pepper in the midst of changing over from green to yellow, and you can see there's a few more. I have a pretty good amount of peppers in here, and here is one that's starting to go from green to red, so I'm trying to let them ripen up as much as possible. Don't know what I'm going to be able to do with all of them. Got way too many. But I can freeze some up, and let's see. You can see some in there. So I got a lot of stuff going on. Some experimental pumpkin plants that I pretty much killed accidentally with a spray that scorched them, and I don't understand why, because I don't believe I had any oil-based stuff in there. So be very careful. Test spray, test spray, test spray. Okay, looking over at some of the bad. You can see my blackberries not doing very well. Diseases, I'm sure. Japanese beetles, I'm sure, have played some part in it. In one of my past videos, you can see right there how a lot of my fruit just shriveled up right on there for some strange reason. It was growing and then it stopped and it shriveled. So we had a heat wave about, I don't know, a week and a half ago, where it was 95 plus, and then you factor in the humidity on top of that, and it stressed a lot of the plants out. The newer canes are doing pretty good, but trying to keep the bugs off of them is always a challenge, especially those doggone Japanese beetles. They seem to be attacking everything in sight. You can see that leaf right there. That's on my blueberries, and the blueberries are done and everything, so I've kind of let the net go up and everything, and because there's no need for me to keep it down now. Lemon balm doing really well. I was hoping to use them as protectors of my pumpkin plants, you know, companion planting kind of things to ward off certain bad bugs, but that doesn't work. As you can see, here's one of my pumpkin plants in here. This is a Mr. Wrinkles. Had some old seeds that I just from a year, and some of them were 2 years old, and I just decided to plant a bunch of them in some little pots or whatever and see what I get, and then choose the best ones from there. So as you can see, I have these under protection from with the tool material. That's the material that they use to make wedding veils out of. And you know, I'm just kind of weighting it down with dirt and whatnot, because I've had these barely have 4 to 5 true leaves on them, and already the squash vine borers have been delivering their little packages of eggs throughout all various parts. It was unbelievable the other night. I was out here all night long. You gardeners know how sometimes it can be. I was out here probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I went all the way till the sun was coming up, and I was out here protecting my pumpkin plants and cleaning off and getting rid of all the squash vine borer eggs that I was finding. And I had to check them each plant 2 or 3 times, and I would still find eggs. You can see the net over there, the tool material, and then the one there. And of course you see my my one pumpkin plant that's been growing for quite some time now. Hasn't gotten me any pumpkins just yet. Keeps aborting them, but that's kind of normal. But it's a pretty healthy plant, and under the protection of the tool material. I had to go to extremes in order to grow any pumpkins in this area. Squash bugs, squash vine borers, and cucumber beetles, to say the least. So anyways, what was I saying about the pumpkin plants? Oh yeah, so I spent all that whole night, about 2 nights ago, and I was, like I said, I was all the way out here, worked through the whole night, checking everything, and it was crazy because I would go all the way down to the base of the stem, and I would find squash vine borer eggs there. And some of them were covered up a little bit by a little bit of soil and everything, and I had to move the soil back away from stem just to expose more of the stems to see if there was any hiding there. And I even found a squash vine borer egg on the edge of a pumpkin leaf. I've never seen that before. I've seen them every other place. If people ever tell you that the squash vine borer moths only deliver their eggs on the base of the stem, that's not true. They will put them anywhere. I've seen them on the flower petals. I've seen them on the tendrils. I've seen them on tops of leaves, bottoms of leaves. I've seen them along the stalk of a leaf and stem, the stem of a leaf and stem section. I've seen them at the base of the plant as well. And now, like I said a couple nights ago, finding one on the edge of a leaf, that was a new one. Oh, I was just, I was just so upset with those doggone borers. And so after I thoroughly went through each plant, cleaned them off, and went through, like I said, 2 or 3 times, then I protected them with the tool material, and then I put dirt over it and put some of these PVC pipes to help keep them down in case we get any wind, until I can come up with a more permanent solution that's going to be more effective. I'm thinking that I might have to build some kind of framing structure like that, but I don't know. I'm hoping that I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that or not. Let's see how feasible that is. I got some new material that I ordered for this project, so I guess I'm going to do it. That's a little bit different than the tool material. I think it's made out of nylon, so it should be more durable, but it's going to allow the same amount of light. It has the same extremely teeny tiny holes that's not going to allow bugs to get in, but will allow the air, water, and sunlight to get through extremely well. So I'll be doing that soon. I guess the basil is going to seed, as you can see, and the bees have been visiting this a lot. I had 2 of them in here, but as you can see, I hacked that one out of there, and there's still some new growth growing there, so that's going to start taking off. But it had gotten so heavy that it split. Alright, so let me take you over to the watermelon patch. As you can see, I got one of my favorite pots here that has my watermelons growing in it, and I'm pretty sure I have one or so hiding in here up close, but I know on the back side is where I have all my all of them. So let me show you, excuse me, let me show you what I got growing on. You can see one right here growing. I have my pumpkin hammocks I made last year for my pumpkins. I'll be using those for the watermelons. And down here you can see this one hanging here. Alright, so I'll have to support that one as well. And I probably have another 1 or 2 more somewhere else. However, I want to show you my 3 stooges right in there. 1, 2, and 3. So they're getting to be, decent size, and so those are all 3 next to each other, and they're doing fine. And watermelon is actually one of those things that grows very well in my area. I've discovered, this is my 2nd year, and there's not too many things that attack them. Bugs don't really go after them in my area, and I haven't really had too many diseases or anything to speak of. You know, I sit there and I pick the occasional leaf off that I see that's yellowing, and that's basically all I do. I just keep it watered and train these vines to go up a little bit, and you know, but be careful with the vines because they're very fragile on these watermelon plants when you put them on these trellises. So again, here's a Big Mac's pumpkin right here, and just, you know, it's doing pretty good. You know, I'm hoping that I'll get something in here before not too long. I got to rip out these cucumbers. They're done, and you can see one of my muskmelons, and these are pretty much done too. Just waiting for these last one or two to ripen up, and then I'm going to pull these out. There's another one right there. And my experience with the muskmelons, pretty much as advertised, they're pretty much exactly the same as the cantaloupe. I can't really tell a difference between the two, except for maybe size. But these muskmelons some of them do get big enough and heavy enough that they will fall off this trellis if you don't support them. I came out here a few days ago and I found a couple lying on the ground, and you know, one or two of them were ripe, but another one wasn't completely ripe. So, you know, you do need to support these on here, some of them. Over here to my cantaloupe, you can see one right in there that's still growing, and I did find it on the cantaloupe. You're going to have to support them as well. I came out a day or so ago, found one of my big one, actually my heavy one that used to be right about in here. It had fallen on the ground, and it was done. Well, it was kind of getting close to being done, but I think the weight just kind of took its toll. Interesting enough, you see one right there that I put on top of the raised bed and everything because it was the one that was hanging down here on the ground. And I actually, last night I came out here, there was another one right here that I had sitting on the wood for support after that first one fell. I put the second one in there, and then of course the third one. And what happened, well, when I came out here, it was actually, I could smell some of the fresh cantaloupe smell. And I kind of lifted it up with my hand and everything, and you know, and then as I lowered it back down, the top popped right off of that thing. So that's like, hey, you're ripe. And it's a good size one too. It's grocery store size. You know, so I have that inside the house and everything. I'm not a fan of cantaloupe and everything, but some of my kids like them. I keep trying it, hoping that I'll acquire a taste for it, you know. But there's not a whole lot I can take with it. Here's my main pumpkin plant. Let me talk a little bit more about that. As you can see, there are some issues going on with the females aborting themselves, like this one right here, way ahead of its time. The flowers started like it was going to open up, and then it looks like it's going pathetic and everything. Now, I look back at this one right there, and see, now just a little while ago, see how it's partially, maybe it's a little hard to see. See how it's partially opening up the petals at the top of that female flower there? See, now a little while ago, that was almost completely shut. So, I don't know what's going on, why they partially open up. I don't understand why that does that and everything, and it's not completely opening as it should. So I may try to shoot some spray down there. Maybe I'll get lucky, I don't know. But I was having high hopes for that about a couple hours ago, but now I'm beginning to think that it's not in the cards for that one. You can see there was one there a couple days ago, and that fruit's definitely not growing. And you usually go pretty fast. Now this one, that opened up a couple days or so before that. Now the petals of course have dried up, but the fruit has not really gotten all that much larger, you know. So usually by I don't know, 4 to 7 days later, you should notice, if it got pollinated, you should notice it growing. This one, I just don't know. It's hard to tell. So anyways, and see, there's another little female flower right there, and that's interesting. Oh, that's coming off of a different vine. Oh, I see. So anyways, not having a whole lot, and I find that actually happening with this Maxima family pumpkin variety versus the Peppo family. The flowers don't seem to open up a whole lot. Now there's a male flower right there. So we'll see. Now these weren't open up a little while ago. Uh-oh, what kind of bug are you? And anywho, need some time to get out here. I here over at my apple trees. Of course, this is my Honeycrisp, and that one is my Fuji. And I'm trying to learn a little bit more about certain techniques of pruning and having central leader kind of things, and I don't know. There's a lot to know and learn. I wish I had an expert here to show me and guide me along. But the Japanese beetles have taken their toll on these plants, on the trees. They've been eating quite a bit of them. See some of the speckling in there on the leaves. And anywho, I've noticed some couple things out here, and I don't know what exactly are. Maybe there's some kind of flower bug growth, but it's too late to get any kind of flowers this year. This is a young tree. These are about maybe 4 years old, so I wasn't expecting anything this year, anyways. But I do want to learn about these things and understand them better, and so I think I'll be doing some major or some kind of pruning back here during the winter time. Some of these branches and everything, these tall branches, I think we'll cut them out. But I'm going to try to see if I can find an expert in this to really guide me along and say, yeah, do that, or no, don't do that. So, well, let's see. I don't know about a whole lot else going on. A lot of things have come and gone. Some things are okay. Here's the Ashitaba, and there's the other Ashitaba. That one's doing a little bit better. I've sprayed them with BT and spinosad because I've noticed about a week or two ago there were some caterpillars and stuff out here munching. And I've had some sun scorch, I think is sun scorch issues, I don't know, right there. So there might be some other kind of disease. It might be time for me to spray them down a little bit. We'll see. Peppers are starting to get some curly leaves on them and things like that. Yesterday, a couple days ago, I'm going to show you the sunflower here. My one and only sunflower. My wife likes them. And you can see the damage of me spraying a little stuff on the leaves. Don't know what was in that spray. Some of the leaves survived, a lot of them didn't. So, any event. Alright, so from Pittman's Pumpkin Patch, Pittman's Garden Patch, like I say, a lot of things dying off, new growth on the blackberries growing. I'm trying to get somebody out here to help me understand what's happening, what's going on, so I can avoid it next year. And because I had a bumper crop of blackberries going on this year, and I was really looking for it. I had tons of them on here, and then everything was growing beautifully, and then all of a sudden we had a small heat wave, and poof, this stuff was gone, and I don't know, maybe the plant was trying to survive by keeping more water to itself, to the roots, instead of into the Berries, could be. Blueberries did very well this year for the first time. I think most of them hit their juvenile age of about maybe 6 years old or so. And so they started producing a lot of fruit. And yeah, I got several harvests off of them this year. Yeah. And so I'll do some pruning over the winter time. And, everything turned out pretty good for the blueberries this year. So, all right. So from Pittman's pumpkin patch, Pittman's garden patch, a little cloudy day out here this morning, but muggy. All right, have a good one. Bye.